town you never heard of. Hey everybody, welcome to the Common Folk Podcast with Ben, Morgan, and Andy.
All right, welcome back to Common Folk.
The podcast for the people, by the people.
There it is.
So I got the show on the road.
Yes, we do. We're in a new location, guys.
Yes, on location at the Valley Foods Cooperative. How long has Valley Foods been open and operational under that name, David?
It'll be 2.5 months, August 2nd.
Okay.
Oh, so it's
That's pretty
super
new.
2.5
new.
years.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but
Restart.
no, but years.
Two and a
That's
half.
still really
2.5
new.
years, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're in the Lynch grocery store that's now run as a cooperative. Kind of a unique deal there. But when I was growing up, this was always Randy's Market.
Right. Randy bought it in 78. I think he ceased operations in 2005, somewhere's in there.
Okay.
And then Farnick's took it over and ran it till March of 2020. The flood didn't hit this area, this part of town, but it had an effect because the groceries came out of Niobrara.
Yeah.
And they'd had to go either down through gravel roads through Pishville. You'll have to look that up on the map, guys. Down through Pishville.
Yeah.
Or go clear up around Wagner and down 281 to Spencer. Yeah,
It was crazy.
It was a disaster.
Yeah. It took me 8 hours one time to get from Omaha to Lynch.
Yeah.
Because of all the bridges being out. And we're talking about the floods of 2019.
Right.
But that had a devastating effect on all sorts of things.
Yeah.
And this grocery store was kind of collateral damage
That's
to a
right.
certain extent of
That's
that.
right. Well, and then originally, right away, what really happened is that a lot of well-meaning people and, by all means, donated a lot of supplies. Well, the community hall next door was clear full of supplies. Nobody's buying anything in here.
Yeah.
So you don't think about those things until you analyze things afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, the Farnicks were getting up there in years, and they were ready to retire anyway. So the new buyers they own the Niobrara store also. The new buyers of the Niobrara store weren't interested in this one, so we're out of a grocery store.
Mm.
So,
And that's kind of where I want to pick up this story.
And
So-
you gotta introduce them too.
Well, yeah, we have David
Yeah.
Barnes here. Now, you're from Lynch, graduated from Lynch Public High School.
1971.
There we go.
Class of 17.
Yep.
Okay, so did you ever leave town, or you've always
Yes.
been here?
Yeah, I
Okay.
moved to Omaha. Lived in Omaha for 40-some years.
Oh, I got you.
I'm a retired accountant. Work for a large construction company in
Okay.
Omaha. And
Just wanted to get back home.
yeah, a little slower pace, a slower pace lifestyle, and get away from the city and get back and hang out with my own old cronies like your father, like me.
Getting the band back together.
Yeah, that's right. Getting the band back together. Yeah.
How long ago did you move back?
We completed our move in July of 19.
Okay.
So I was just right after the flooding, and but there wasn't any water. There wasn't any town water at that point yet.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to buy bottled water to make your coffee and stuff like that, and boil water to wash your dishes and things like that. Although growing up on the farm, we just pumped it out of the well, and that's what you drank and that's what you used. It wasn't a whole lot different.
Yeah, yeah.
So but I guess we all survived that. But,
My buddy Aaron Holtz
Yeah.
still had well water out at their farm.
Yeah.
And it always had a crazy taste to it. He couldn't tell the taste. But when we went out, they were like, "What is wrong with your water, man?" But
ours was terrible too. It was a 40-foot well, and it was just hard. It was just it just eat through pipes and stuff. But anyway, that's we're going down a rabbit hole here.
But we got good water now.
Yes,
town.
we do. Yeah, it comes out of Oak County, out of the well fields over there, and it's good water now.
So the flood happened. Farnicks were looking to retire anyhow,
Right.
get out of the grocery biz. You moved to town, and all of a sudden, Lynch doesn't have a grocery store.
Correct. Yeah.
So how did this all come about, really?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. A few months after the store closed, Janie Fisher bought the building for a very reasonable price.
Okay.
And she had intentions of trying to reopen it as a grocery store. So how did I get involved? Well, it was at happy hour one night, and I had 3 pretty good IPAs, and you should really only limit yourself to 1, by the way, if they're pretty big. And Martha and Janie approached me about being on a committee to try to bring a grocery store, and so 3 beers in, sure.
Seems like a good idea.
Sure,
Yeah,
why not?
So I guess you could say they got me drunk and took advantage of me.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay.
See?
The truth comes out.
Yeah, I guess since we're not FCC regulated, I can say things like that. So we Janelle Mashanik had seen in Norfolk paper where Charlotte Nargis out of the extension office in Lincoln, UNL, had helped Plainview or Norfolk or somebody do something. So she noticed that article, and Martha Fisher called her to see what we were. Said, well, we bought a building. We want to open a grocery store. What do we do next? None of us have any grocery store experience. There was 6 of us that the bigger players in this. Martha Nelson, Janie Fisher, Paul Fisher, Jabe Fisher, Janelle Mashanik, and myself. So Martha called her and sort of started the ball rolling. We put together a survey to send out to everybody with a 68746 zip code. We sent it out to alumni, because we have an alumni listing. And that we were interested in grocery. We were trying to see what kind of interest there was in reopening the grocery store. We did get 45% response, which is I think it's, from what I understand, that's pretty good. You're lucky if you get a third.
Sure.
Yeah.
And this was also online, and I sent out emails to well-heeled people I knew, and to see if they would contribute and to complete the survey online. And so there was enough interest. 75% of the people said they'd spend half their grocery budget in here, and we determined that would probably be enough to try to reopen.
Okay.
So the next step is, what type of entity are we going to do? You could do an LLC, but you're going to have to round up money, and you'd have investors to have to. Well, you still do, but it was just kind of decided that since we were going to need figured we'd need $100,000 to redo the building and initial inventory. So we decided to go cooperative. The price of the shares were $250 for a common share. That's a voting stock, and then $250 a share for preferred stock, which would earn dividends if the store became
Profitable.
viable. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we started that June of 2021. We thought we would try to be open by October of 2021. We didn't make that target. So we started, and the first night we rounded up $30,000. And then that was early June, and then the alumni banquet, and there were 400 people at the alumni banquet, and so we made a spiel there too, and told a couple of lame jokes, and
Got some IPAs and some people, and
And took
That
advantage
should
of
have been
those people
the
too.
first route. Just get those IPAs out there.
yeah. Oh yeah. If you want reviews on IPAs and Scotch and bourbon, come to me. So if you're someplace and you're not sure which one to get, just text me.
All right.
Oh, by the way, if you ever see a Van Winkle, buy it.
Okay.
A Van Winkle?
Bourbon.
Okay.
Oh.
You won't.
No.
Is
okay.
it that Pappy
Yeah.
Van Winkle or whatever? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
so
don't know
you've
what
heard of
that
it?
I've heard
is?
of it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, most people. Yeah. I have one bottle.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it super rare?
Yeah. It's fairly. It's got a mystique, and it's frankly it's overhyped.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There's other ones that are secondary market. The 23-year-old could go for $2,000.
Serious?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, secondary market. But I've seen some out there for $90, but then I looked at it. Oh, that's just for the bottle. There's nothing.
That's an empty bottle.
There's
in
nothing in it.
Nice.
No thanks.
But we're down the rabbit hole. But
Yeah.
but that's things I like to talk about.
Well, yeah. Well, and day one you raised $30,000. That had been a pretty good sign.
That was a good sign, and we thought that maybe we'd raise quite a bit more after the banquet, but we didn't because people, people were more concerned about coming downtown and and drinking IPAs and Busch Lights and things like that. And it kind of was slow. We kind of was slow after that. We put articles in the Spencer Advocate. That's the county newspaper. Every other week, letting people know where we were, that we were still trying to reopen. So, if they don't hear anything at all, it's done.
Yeah.
So you just put something in there. Let them know how much stock we've received, what we received in grants, and what we received in donations. So I'd say by August 1st we were maybe at $60,000. It just seemed to me that people were waiting for a threshold to be met. Okay, if you get to 50,000, I'll give something.
Mm-hmm.
If you get to 60, I'll give something. If you get to 75, I'll give something. We're selling shares, so you have to clear that through the Nebraska Banking Commission.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'd set up that we were shooting for $100,000. We've authorized $200,000 in stock, so if we need to raise money for something else. And we said that we would open it if we got to $75,000. We would go forward. And so we did get to $75,000, and we got some more in.
Right.
And so we were at $85,000 in stock and donations. And a family came to town. I'm not sure how they heard about this, but they came to town, and the last name hadn't been around for 70 years. Some of their grandchildren are around, but the last name hadn't been around for 70 years. And said, okay, you guys are at 85,000, and you're looking to give 100. We'll make that difference.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was huge.
That's huge. Yeah, and that's one of the things here that we had to have about four to five things happen. Each had to happen, and they all did.
Wow.
That's a sign.
It is a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd like to share something that the Methodist minister told us that we were talking about trying to raise money and open the store up, and he says you're doing God's work.
Mm. Oh, wow.
So that's you're getting blessed right there. So
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so back to whiskey and beer and
But okay, so all four things lined up, and now you have Lynch has a grocery store,
right?
But it's a cooperative. Was there two or three other cooperatives that were out there that you're kind of trying to follow suit or mimic, or is this all just like this is how we got to do it if we're going to move forward?
Yeah, and explain a cooperative, because I still
Well,
I'm a little...
each you sell shares in it, and then the if the thing is profitable enough and you decide to distribute your profits, then the profits get allocated to the stockholders.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's typically in the past it's been done for elevators, for grain sales, and that's what it's modeled after that.
But obviously, it works in other
Yeah.
ways. I mean,
And
you've proved it.
And then none of the stockholders everybody went into this with their eyes open.
Yeah.
That the chances of them getting a dividend or anything out of it are slim.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're given the money so that you have it for the convenience of having a store. Hi, Pat.
Come on
Hi,
in.
come on in.
Yeah.
The bread.
Yeah,
guys
the bread.
here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's bringing us bread here.
We're recording a podcast. Turn around and say hi there.
Yeah.
For the
Then you
YouTube
can be on
channel.
camera.
There we go. So,
That's Pat.
I see that quite a bit. I watch that channel quite a
oh yeah.
YouTube.
bit. You got this guy here. He's going to be a movie star if you put him on TV.
Well, I do kind of look like George Clooney.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. Well, there's three things there. We're about the same age, and we're both reasonably tall, and we both got gray hair. So there.
Yeah. There you go. 3 for 3. Yep.
You got it. You hit them all.
So.
Our politics might be different, but
Well, no. Well, yeah. We don't. That's another podcast.
we won't go into that. Well, let's not
geez.
start there.
Yeah, put the cap on at the whiskey talk. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so the cooperative's up and running. You guys have been going for 2.5 years.
Correct.
What's the current state of affairs? Is it looking good? It's spinning like a top.
Well, it's got positive cash flow, but I have to qualify that by saying that we have volunteer management, the day-to-day management, and the ordering, and when the truck comes on Wednesday, we have 8 to 10 people that volunteer to come unload the trucks and do the initial stocking of the shelves. So, if you had to pay a manager and you had to pay stock help, that would be it would be a struggle.
Yeah.
So it's got positive cash flow under the current configuration.
And this kind of goes back to that sense of community that we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you have
Yeah.
a number of volunteers and just initially stockholders
Yeah.
investing their money knowing that,
Hi, Chris.
dividends might not be there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get that sense of ownership and you're going to take care of a place, you're going to support a place if you're volunteering your time
Right.
to make it happen.
Right.
Or you got some money in it, you know.
Of course.
So, and we have to price our stuff reasonably competitive to Cahoy's and Spencer. That's
Sure.
13 miles away. So we maybe don't get to charge as much as we might be able to.
That was going to be my next question. So where is the next closest?
Yeah,
So,
13 miles at Spencer.
Okay.
And to the east would be 25 miles. And to Niobrara to the south would be 45 miles to O'Neill.
Okay. And so those people that are not watching YouTube, I mean, how big is your store right here, like square foot wise? I mean, we're looking
I
at,
think this be what,
there's 3 aisles that are.
1,800 square feet
Okay. Yeah.
on the sales
So-
floor.
But I mean, looking around, you
this
have a
is-
lot of stuff here. I
Yeah.
didn't know coming into it, but I'm thinking
Yeah.
it would be way smaller than this. So I'm super impressed.
Yes. Well, thank you.
And it's so clean, very organized. I mean, you guys have this like tip-top shape.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's the intent. I have to hand it to our supplier. And that was one of the key things that had to happen. We had to have a supplier come to the door. So we don't have to go anywhere else to go get our groceries down to Niobrara or Spencer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They come to the door. And they came in and set it up.
Oh, wow.
So, we wouldn't know.
Right.
How to do it, like
Yeah.
where to put
Well,
the stuff.
We
and
know
what-
enough to put the milk and the eggs and the bread back in the corner.
Oh wait, it doesn't go on the counter. Okay.
Yeah, no, we know to put that back in the corner so they have to walk by everything else in order to. What is that, marketing 101?
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Put the good stuff in the back and
Yeah, but the stuff that they actually come in to get.
all the candy at eye level, so the kids have to get something.
course,
I mean,
yes.
hello.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all the ice cream, all the candy bars right up by the checkout counter.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I could open a
yeah.
grocery store. Sounds like I got
Yeah.
it. Not.
The candies haven't really moved. They've always been up there by the register.
Right. Well, that's standard marketing. Yeah.
And I have a story going down memory lane. It's really stuck with me. But I wasn't any taller than the bench we're behind right now. Like, I
Okay.
was really little.
Thanks, David.
And
Thanks, Pat.
I wanted there's a Tootsie Pop that has the Tootsie Roll in the middle.
Yeah.
I wanted a Tootsie Pop, and came in shopping with Mom, and she just wouldn't let me have it. And I'm like, it's 15 cents. You know, I can
Now 29.
Now it's 29 cents. Jeez, inflation. But I'm like, come on, let me have a Tootsie Pop. And she stuck to her guns. She's like, no, you can't have it. So
What was the reason?
I don't know.
You
I
probably
guess I was
weren't being good.
Yeah, I was a bad boy or something.
He
so
must have been chubby at the time.
yeah, maybe.
He's never been chubby.
I know.
So-
On accident, I called him small once. I didn't know that was a diss.
Jeez. So anyway, I doubled down on being a bad boy,
Yeah.
and I took the Tootsie Pop and I rolled it up in my shirt like this.
You stole it?
Yeah, and Beth Tarr was working, and she helped Mom load the groceries, and I'm just sitting in the van like this.
Oh yeah, you're not trying to hide it.
And Mom goes, "What's in your shirt?" I go, "Nothing." Why are you sitting like that? No reason. And then Beth came out and goes, "Unroll your shirt," and I did, and I'm like, showed him the Tootsie Pop, and man, did I get my ass chewed.
Was it the same building?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was
Did
right
you
there.
have to return the Tootsie Pop?
Yeah, I had to do the
Good.
walk of shame in front of all the old ladies and put the Tootsie Pop back. I'm like, all this for 15 cents? I'm like, why can't I just...
They should have made you like straighten up the aisles.
Yeah,
and stuff.
right.
Like,
Yeah, restock.
Yeah.
So how long did this place sit unoccupied from before
March
you guys
March
got
of
it?
20 to we started bringing inventory in January of 22.
Okay.
So, but before all that's done, as you can see in here, this is all new ceiling, all new lighting, all new floor.
Oh, so you had to redo.
Yeah, we
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, just to make it look nicer.
Yeah. No, the flooring is excellent. You know, that's new.
Yeah.
And it's so much brighter in here.
So it
you
was
guys.
in
I
rough
told you guys
shape
this is-
before?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was in rough
And
shape.
when you guys were talking about the flood earlier, like, was this building full of water?
No,
Okay.
the flooding was block east,
Oh,
two
good.
blocks
Okay.
east.
Okay.
So, and we got rid of all the old coolers and freezers and we got new ones. We got a grant to get new ones. And the labor to do we had volunteer labor to come in and clean it up and clean all the shelves and stain the shelves and the labor for the electrician and the floor contractor did all that work for materials.
Yeah.
No, we couldn't have paid the labor.
Yeah.
We didn't have enough money. So that helps. All that helps.
Yeah.
And adds up. We ended when we opened the door. We ended up we had $125,000 in stock, donations, and grants. And we were in our renovation of $100,000 plus opening inventory came in at $99,500.
All right.
Wow.
Got it.
Yeah. So, well, you know the Fishers, and
Yeah.
they're kind of tight and tight with their money, and well, I am too. So.
Yeah.
So, but we made it work. But the best thing is that we bought the building for $8,000.
Okay.
We were able to open and have cash to operate.
That's huge. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and and this is we have no debt, no long-term debt. The only things we owe for right now are last week's groceries.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Do you think you guys will be at a point sometime where you, excuse me, you are paying dividends to your
Well,
shareholders?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
One of my thoughts is that I'm not giving away my time so somebody else can get dividends.
Right.
So
right.
it's so the way I envision it happening is that I don't think we'll ever be able to pay a manager, a standalone manager who does nothing else. The money it would take,
Yeah.
it's just not there.
Yeah.
So what I've envisioned happening is that we get a super clerk that's can take on some of that and pay them some more money, and then the clerks get and go from there. So we want to get to that point, but it's you got to get there first. But
Of course. You mentioned the selection. I think you got a fantastic selection.
I know.
Was there a a thought process as far as like we just want the value goods, or we want the high end products, or is it like you're just listening to your suppliers and taking what they say? Or
Well, opening inventory was suppliers, and they asked whether we wanted the best choice, which is the store brand.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I think we gotta have mostly that.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a high income community,
right.
and so they're going to be looking. They'll pay willing to pay 75 cents a can less for the store brand than the Libby's or the Del Monte.
Right. Yes.
They're willing to do that. So we made that decision. But there is some stuff that are top shelf stuff. The flour there's some people will only use gold medal flour, and some people only Heinz ketchup.
Yeah.
And some people only IPAs, but we don't have. we don't sell alcohol.
Oh, you
here.
don't? That's a whole nother level.
Well, alcohol.
Yeah. I mean,
oh,
licensing and all that stuff.
Licensing and more exposure to, you don't want to be selling underage.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Plus, there's already 2 businesses in town
that do that.
That do that. And
Let them do
You don't
that.
want to trot on their territory.
Gotcha.
We don't do tobacco either.
Okay.
And we do lottery. And actually, I think Rachel was talking one time that actually somebody might have done a sting on a lottery because you have to be 19 to buy lottery tickets.
Oh, yeah.
And somebody came in that she didn't know and said, well, I need to see your ID. And, I got to get in the car. And
Left.
we got in the car and left, yeah.
Yeah, the state's pretty good about running through here every so often, hitting up Monowai and then Lynch and then Niobrara. I mean, they're just trying to help us, protect and serve us.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
it's a good use of our tax dollars to run and try and
exactly.
pop us. But thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
I think the selection thing and where you get all that's interesting to me for small town grocery stores. So to help people understand that, you have essentially one supplier that you hooked up with that brings you all of this.
Well, so the individual suppliers, well, he was just here. That's the bread. That's
It looks
Bimbo
Earth Green breads, I think.
That's Sara Lee.
It's Sara Lee brand and the store brand. And Frito-Lay comes in.
Okay.
Coca-Cola and Pepsi and Dr. Pepper, they come in.
So that's all separate individual suppliers.
Right.
Yep.
And the Gatorade is, believe it or not, is separate from all those.
Oh, really?
So we have to get the Gatorade from another supplier. But the rest of it comes from AWG out in Norfolk.
Okay.
Right there at the intersection of 275 and 81, that giant building on the southwest corner. And that was another thing that had to happen. It's also a co-op.
Oh, okay.
And it's owned by its customers, and we're a customer. But when we were starting this, you had to buy stock to get into it. But the stock was $36,000.
Whoa.
Wow.
And so that's out of our price range. But by the time we were getting ready to open, maybe I'll just back up a little bit. We were originally going to try to partner with Cahoy's,
right,
Spencer, and go up there and get it and bring it down. And they were going to charge us some percentage for doing that. But then their supplier changed the game on it, and they said, well, we thought maybe they could pallet it and be on that truck, and they could just take them off the pallets and we could come up and get it. Well, they changed the program and said, well, we're going to make a separate stop, but it's going to cost you $350 to do it. Well, $350 on top of Cahoy's 8 or 10% that's not going to work.
Yeah, okay.
That's not going to work. But AWG had dropped their stock price to $18,000. Oh. Which is they split their stock, so that got it more into our price range. So Paul called them to see, and this would have been in, I don't know,
2020?
October 21 or 20, somewhere's in there. Okay, so we think we could swing to $18,000. What's the minimum order? Well, the sales manager at the time said, well, that's $10,000 a week. Well,
ooh.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we don't gross $10,000 a week, so we can't be buying $10,000 a week in groceries. So there was we were going down to Omaha to see our son Andy, and I got a text from Charlotte Nargis from UNL that she'd been to some conference, and that AWG might be willing to supply us. This is just out of the blue.
Yeah.
And at this point, we're dead. We're almost dead in the water.
Mm-hmm.
It's Farnerbach, and they supply the C-stores, things like that. They couldn't supply us because it was too much shelf space.
Right. Okay.
Said that they might be willing to supply us. So we met with them, and they, rather than a minimum order, they have minimum freight and then a minimum warehouse charge.
Okay.
So if and the number for us is about $6,000 to $7,000 what we'd have to order in order to not be in charge the minimum. So what they're trying to do is they need so much to make their truck come here,
Right.
and they need so much to pallet the stuff to put on the truck.
Sure.
So rather than making it a minimum order, they're just getting their margin through the minimum freight and the minimum warehouse charge, and that makes it doable.
Yeah.
That makes it doable. So at that point, we're meeting with him. I'm going, oh, holy shit, this is going to happen.
Yeah. The dominoes start
real.
falling.
Yeah, it's going to happen. And that was one of the things we needed to meet Charlotte. We needed to raise the stock money. We needed to have that family come in and put in $15,000, and we needed AWG to come forward.
Yeah.
And those are the four things we needed to have happen, and they all did.
Nice.
And all the volunteer work too.
And all we had to have
Yeah.
because you can't, and all the volunteer work.
Yeah.
It had to happen. And that's the only way it was going to work.
Yeah.
Are you able to work with, or do you guys work with at all as far as suppliers, any local things? Like, do you have like some local meats or anything like that?
We have eggs from TNS Farms at Tanner Black out to Bristow. We have barbecue sauce from Ober's out of Royal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And Deanne Carson Wood, she has salads and jellies that she brings in too.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so we do some local stuff too.
No sugar cookies?
Well, I don't know if she brings them in.
My mom used to bring cookies in here.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
That's kind of like her thing. Is,
Maybe she needs to get back on that.
Yeah. David,
Well, there's
give her a call
go
there.
up that aisle
Okay.
there. High margin stuff on the right, stuff you need on the left.
I noticed there was a cooler back here with like some different sausages and meat
Yes.
sticks. Is that a...
It's Mauschkas out of Ashton, Nebraska. That's west of St. Paul.
Okay.
We tried to do something with Jim Korb up here at Bristow.
Yeah.
But you know Jim.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
that didn't work out. So,
He liked his current program. So
yes. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
No,
that.
that's neat.
He likes change even less than me. So
Right.
But produce and stuff, are you getting that? Do you get
that's
that
all
from-
coming from the supplier.
Okay, yeah. I just didn't know if anyone has like a
Yeah,
huge like
there's
local
some old
garden.
O'Neill.
or-
We thought maybe trying to do something with wildflower over there at O'Neill, but it doesn't really work out.
yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's then there are challenges here.
Oh sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the produce, bananas, 2 boxes are too many. One isn't enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want to get them in boxes.
Right.
You know, and then trying to guess the milk.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got like alumni weekend. You'll probably see a surge. So
Right. Well,
you
the
gotta,
summers
you
are
know.
a surge in themselves.
Yeah. Okay.
The people on the river, there's how many cabins on the river?
Oh my gosh.
100,
Yeah. something like that.
120.
Between the two.
Yeah.
I would say yeah.
Yeah. Some people come up every weekend, or some live year round, or some come up for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Without them, this would be a real struggle.
Would it?
A real struggle.
Okay.
Yeah, just with the local people and the regular week to week trade, this would be a struggle.
So when I was growing up, Lynch had a population of about 300.
Yeah.
What do you think Lynch is at now?
About 195,
About-
somewhere's in there.
So less than 200 supporting a grocery store. I would think that
Yeah.
could be a struggle.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
You know?
for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I guess I was thinking, I don't know, 500. You know, I
Yeah.
just didn't really even know. You've talked about it, but it's gone backwards.
It's
from-
a lot smaller than Murray, where we're at.
yeah.
Murray doesn't have a grocery store.
Well, just the lake community that we're in, I kind of ran the numbers. It was around 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know.
Okay.
And that doesn't have a grocery store.
Right.
You
Yep.
know.
Yep.
So,
Which one's what's that?
around Beaver Lake.
Oh, yeah.
About
yeah.
a population of about 1,000. Just that.
Well,
Yep.
it's so close to the Hy-Vees and the
That's true.
Yeah, we got to head
down.
north.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So if you had to give people advice on wanting to do something like this, would you say do it? Or like, wow, you do need a team. This is
You
really
need a
hard.
team, yeah.
I mean, obviously it's not a
Yeah, we
one-man
met.
show.
It just didn't happen overnight.
Yes.
We met via Zoom weekly with Charlotte at the UNL once a week for 14 months.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's and then Jordan Rasmussen out of Rural Prosperity, Nebraska. I think she lives in Erickson.
Okay.
And she helped with some of this stuff too. They helped us write the grants, and they helped us, got us in contact with a co-op attorney, tried to get that set up correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So in this process, you learned a lot too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Well, but I'm coming from an accounting background. This
Okay.
isn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
this-
too far off then.
This isn't. This relates fairly well.
Okay.
But no grocery store experience. None of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it was more of a necessity. Like, you need to have a grocery store,
yeah. How
and
are we
you're
going to do it? Yeah.
And then, figure out how you got to do it. And wouldn't you know it, those 4 big pillars all lined up for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting there, and we had financials from Farnix before. And
Yeah.
we're looking at them, and we're looking at them. I'm just saying at the meeting. I'm just saying, well, this isn't going to work without a volunteer manager. And they all looked my direction. There was nobody
Behind
left
you.
of me.
Yeah.
No, so
Sounded
over
like
your
you were
shoulder.
volunteering.
yeah, something like that.
So
Yeah.
how
Volunteering
much
yourself.
volunteer hours do you think you put in?
Probably at least 30 hours a week.
Okay, so that's a lot. But
is
you
a
do
lot.
have a couple employees, like you have the lady running the counter.
We're open 56 hours a week,
Okay,
and so it's about an employee and a half.
gotcha.
And then Jay does the ordering, and that's part of the key that's kind of making this work is that, and I'm supposing he puts in maybe close to the same, 20 to 30 hours a week. But you go up the aisle in the frozen food section, we got some stuff you wouldn't think.
Yeah.
We could have crab rangoon, we could have Asian dumplings, we have what's it, wontons,
Little
Oh, yeah.
wontons.
Yeah.
egg rolls,
Yeah.
and egg rolls. We have stuff like that, and along with the standard.
You still have Tootsie Pops up there?
Oh, you
promise
better
I'll-
check his
You
shirt.
better. I'll check your shirt before you go. So
Do you guys have kind of like long-term plans or hopes for what this looks like in 10 or 15 years? How you bring the next generation in, who takes it over? How does this carry on?
well, that's a really good question. As currently configured, it's not going to work without a volunteer manager.
Yeah.
So you just have to hope somebody with some knowledge retires.
Yeah.
And unless we find somebody to.
Well, it sounds to me
Super
like
clerk.
you kind of dodged a bullet here, because like a big saying is once you retire, now you're really busy because you start getting into all your hobbies and this and that, and so-and-so's not working. I'll
Well,
ask
you
him
can
for
only
help.
drink so much scotch.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So you backed off from
gotta fill
your
your
40-hour
time
work
somehow.
week to 30 hours.
Well, it's
so
more like-
you're
it's
living the
more-
dream.
Yeah, well, it was more like 60. So I was working
See? Half the time.
Cut it in half.
Yeah.
So even working 30, you're bored. I mean, gal, got to get you another job.
Yeah. Well.
Between the grocery store and the IPAs,
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Yeah.
He's full time
David's
now.
got it.
My wife says your next undertaking has to pay.
Right.
Well, I feel like for things like this, in order for them to continue on, the town needs more folks like you who made the decision to move back and then want to give back and want to make things work.
Right.
So you need folks like Andy and his family, this generation to
Exactly.
come in and
Well, there's
infuse.
there's several young couples in town, and some little kids now, and the daycare reopened.
Right.
House comes up for sale, it sells.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't think about too, I mean, yeah, you're a long ways away, but how much more affordable is it to live somewhere like in this general area than where we're traveling from, as an example? I mean,
Well, that's one of the things that we bought a 1,400 square foot house for $38,000.
yeah.
So what's that tell you?
Right, exactly.
Well, and this building you bought for $8,000.
Yeah.
You tried to buy
This building would
Right.
go
in Bellevue.
for
Yeah,
Lincoln.
and
100.
the old Larry's old building over here, that went for $10,000.
wow.
And
okay.
that was after it was all remodeled and done.
Yeah,
The old electronics store.
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
And people got to realize, I mean, you're not going to come out here and start a business and make a fortune. That's not what this is about. You're
Right.
going to come out here and start a business because you're helping the community,
Right.
and then you're going to be able to just halfway keep your own head above water, but you're going to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
It's going to be a whole lot more fulfilling.
Well, this store, if it was a mom and pop store, and mom and pop worked, and that would probably be enough for them to live here.
Mm-hmm.
So if they did all the labor themselves,
Yes, and they're not paying out.
Yeah. yeah, they're not paying people, so
Yep.
that would probably be enough because is what we pay the clerks plus what extras left over.
Yep.
That would be
Yep.
so.
Yeah.
There's probably a couple different avenues, like you mentioned there, mom and pop. If a young couple moved back and that's what they want to do, and they had some experience, I don't know if you could reconfigure everything, but
Well,
I bet
no,
there is a way.
you could figure out something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, some sort of profit sharing or some sort
Yep.
of thing
Yep.
where you could make that work. So, but what we really need to do.
What do we really need?
Let's hear.
So this building over here, the old Moody's Mercantile,
Uh-huh.
the building over there.
Yeah.
You need to round up the people, the money, and the workers
Okay.
to put a brewery in.
Okay, now we're
Whoa.
talking.
There you go.
We've been
Andy's
dancing
moving
around
back.
it. Yeah.
The next
Yeah.
thing, Andy's moving to Lynch.
Yeah,
He's going to
or-
open a bar.
Somehow we would buy the school building,
Oh, that'd be awesome.
and one side would be the brewery, and the other side would be the still.
Okay, now we're talking.
Oh.
We could put that.
Let's dream here.
Yeah, we could put that. I was talking about the shop,
Yep.
yesterday.
Yep.
We'll put the still down in the old shop area,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, okay. We're getting
Well,
somewhere.
I'm just talking about the old brick building. So
Yeah.
so,
sharp.
A lot of cool opportunities in small towns, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, how to repurpose, how to see something else.
Yep. And it just takes people with the desire and the drive and the will, and things like this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to also stress that we have that new addition in the back.
Mm-hmm.
We received a $200,000 grant from the USDA.
Nice.
So we were able to put that addition in the back, buy one more freezer up here, new sidewalk up front. I suppose you saw that.
Yep. That's.
Bought a skid loader, new walk-in freezer and refrigerator, and a couple new display things for the salads and things like that, and some deli equipment. We're starting to slice up the higher-end salami and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
There's
Okay.
there's a better markup in that sort of stuff.
Sure, yeah.
And frankly, the product's a lot better than Oscar Mayer and
Sure. Yeah.
and things like that.
Package stuff, yeah. So everyone is always so pissed off at our government, and what you're saying is our government is actually doing some good in some of these small
That's right.
towns.
Yeah.
That's right.
People,
That's
people have
good
to
to hear.
realize, there's some good things going on.
I wanted to bring that up because
Yeah.
we're supposed to,
Yeah.
whenever we, according to our agreement with
No,
the
there you
US,
go. Yep.
we're supposed to get that in there so they get some publicity out of it.
That should
But
be the new slogan. Not all bad.
Yeah,
Just a little good.
the best thing about it is that with that grant is we saved enough money in spots and here and there that we were able to purchase a generator.
Okay.
So when the power power goes off, 10 seconds it's back on.
And you don't lose all your frozen goods.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the story I got, we had a grocery store in Plattsmouth, Nebraska, closed down a few years back, and that was the thing, that the hurdle they couldn't get over. They needed new refrigerators, and there was no way they could buy new refrigerators and keep afloat. So they just had to close up.
Right.
So that this stuff isn't cheap.
Well, yeah, it's grants, and those things are $5,000 a piece, and what do we got? 7 of them there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And
It's the things that you don't think about. I kind of didn't even think about a generator, or just
yeah.
It's so pricey.
These are a little more modern refrigerators and freezers.
They're really nice.
They
yeah.
each have their own compressor. So you don't have that giant compressor anymore. So when the compressor goes down, they all go down. Well, if just one goes down.
Smarter.
Oh, and even the new concrete out front, that looks great.
Yeah.
That was really
The
rough.
local contractor,
Yeah.
Jaden Nelson, did that, and he did the back. He does all local stuff. Local HVAC, Swanson out of Spencer. We insulated the exterior of the existing.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that
nice.
was Swanson out of Niobrara that did that. New front window. This Bartak out of O'Neill did that.
It takes a village, and sometimes a surrounding village.
So
to
the
chip
surrounding,
in,
yep,
help out.
That's exactly right. Yeah, so I had to throw that out there about the grant.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, and you saw back there, that's 36 by 40.
Yeah, it's nice.
36
really
by
nice.
40 edition, and that way we bring the skid loader in the wintertime, it'll start.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then in the summertime, when Eagle Lanes is closed, we can have coffee back there.
There we go.
for the afternoon coffee, people.
When we were talking to the Handle Bin boys in O'Neill the other day, last night, like, that's so awesome. You have a coffee shop now where people can just gather every morning and have coffee.
Right.
That's important.
It is,
you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's the social media of the past.
There you go.
Is there a
That's
coffee
true.
shop here?
No,
Okay. The back room.
the back room.
That's
The new
That's
edition.
the new edition.
Yeah.
Just need a sign that says coffee house.
Yeah.
No, it's
we
very,
usually just
very
fire it
cool.
up fire up the regular coffee for the group.
Yeah.
It comes in about 3 and leaves about 4:30.
Okay.
There you go.
But that one of the things you think, we put that addition on, there was something positive happening in the community.
Sure.
I'd like to think this store and that addition has raised morale in the.
Yeah. You see growth. You
Yeah.
see something happening.
Yeah, see something
Yeah.
see something good happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So the USDA and so my grandfather would be rolling in the grave, me taking a check from the government. But
Hey.
but if they're giving it out,
Yeah.
we might as well get
Yeah. You put enough in over
Yeah.
the years.
Yeah,
Well,
and you just don't send them an email and they say, okay, well, you got to jump through all the hoops.
Yes.
Right.
And
Check all
Well,
the boxes.
and like
Yeah.
you said, I mean, it's truly getting put to good use. You know,
Yes.
there's a lot of people
Yes.
benefiting from it. It's not just a handout per se.
No.
I mean, everyone's having to work for this.
right.
There's
right.
a lot that goes into this.
Yeah. So
So, yeah, next time.
we're not
listeners-
the only one. We're not the only ones who've received money in Nebraska. I think one outfit out of Salt Creek there was some down to Lincoln, and a grocery store in Emerson opened up as a co-op.
Mm-hmm.
And you asked it earlier. We kind of modeled ourselves after Hay Springs, clear out on the.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a co-op out there.
Yep.
Okay.
So we kind of modeled ourselves after that, and yeah. So it's been good.
Well, very good. So next time somebody swings through Lynch, they're going to have to stop by the co-op.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Stop in, get yourself a few goods here.
Get some
Yep.
goods from Valley Foods. So how'd you get that name? We didn't even
Well, we
ask.
kind of had asked a few people,
Okay.
and you remember Mel Lucan?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
He-
beautiful day in the valley.
It's a beautiful day in the valley. They
see,
even
there's
do-
got to
do
be a
the-
story.
Yeah,
I thought.
it was a the local radio station out of O'Neill. You do a 15-minute news for Spencer, and then
Okay.
Butte does one, and Lynch does one, and Mel always opened with whether it was was raining or there was 6 feet of snow on the ground, it's a beautiful day in the valley.
I got it. Well, that's perfect name. Yeah. Well, it
Yeah,
was so nice to meet you.
Well, nice to meet you
Yeah,
guys.
Thanks
so
for
much
letting
for
us
having
come
us.
in here.
Thanks for coming up.
Yeah.
Now you got to
Great
go
to be
back
here.
to work.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's usually Friday's usually a slow day for me, and I'll go home and mow the lawn, get ready for our son and our grandchildren.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, to come up. So
Good deal. Good
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
You got anything else, Andy?
No.
I'll remind folks that on our website, farmfocused, FOCUSED.com, use the code CommonFolk, so the name of the podcast, 20% off. Go visit it, get your gear, all the stuff that we sell as well. So I guess that's about it.
That's it.
Yeah.
You guys good? Anything else?
I'm good.
nothing for me.
All
All right.
right.
We appreciate it. I'm going to shut it down.
Thanks.
Yep. We'll
Peace.
see you.